You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
All right, no Liam today. Aaron, can we get Doobie?
Nope, he's busy.
Demers?
He's done for the summer.
Merrick?
Nope.
Bruce Kurlock?
Negative.
Cam and Zach are busy. All right, just go get Reece, I guess. Let's get into it with the lead.
Woo!
Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday, live from the Sports Closet studio. From jerseys to hats to the legendary foam finger, you'll find it all and more at the Sports Closet. Check them out online, sportscloset.ca. The show is a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. It is a laid-back, chill Friday edition of the show. So I told Reece he could do it with us.
Woohoo, not a big deal. Happy to be here. This is so exciting.
Did you drive here very quickly when I texted you?
I did. I was quite shocked when I got the call. I thought I was pretty low down on the depth list. And then
you were.
Yeah, thanks.
No, we just went through the depth chart. We
went through the depth chart, Reece. Yeah, excited to have you on, Reece. We're gonna do a little Ask Us Anything edition of the show, so you can put your comments in the YouTube. We had a couple out on Twitter as well. As you can expect, on July 18th, there's not a lot of hockey to talk about, but a couple of interesting storylines developed since our last show on Wednesday. We got a couple of things to talk about in terms of our world, the nation world, and what's coming next week as well. So, yeah, lots to get to. Well, not lots to get to, but we're going to have some fun today.
It's a Friday show. This is a Friday vibe
show.
Through and through.
I know. Yeah. Whatever. We'll get ready for our weekend. We got a giant question.
Ty just booked a tea time.
I just booked a tea time. So I'm excited to go golfing tonight because, I mean, when am I not golfing? Also, it's shitty this weekend. The weather's not good. So, I knew I couldn't golf on Saturday or Sunday. So tonight was my only opportunity. But I'm also doing the thing where I'm keeping an eye on a couple of tee times that are for 4 because it's just Amber and I. So I'm keeping an eye on a couple of tee times of 4. And if they start to disappear, then I'll just book. But I'm hoping the longer I wait, the better chance there is we're not playing with anybody. Because right now the tee sheet's looking good where I want to play.
So this is, I said, your PSA to everybody out there.
Yeah.
No one booked golf today.
Yeah, if you're thinking of golfing at Goose Hummock this evening, don't fuck with my pace of play. Or if you have a tea time somewhere in the city and would like me to join you, my DMs are open. Anyways, I'm also live tracking some scores from the Open because I'm sweating out some bets. Shout out to our friends at Bet365. The fucking cut line just moved again. Damn it. That means Connors is going to need to make another birdie. Oh, he's on the easiest hole in the course of the par 5. This is going to be very exciting. So anyways, we'll talk some golf later on in the show because Aaron and I did our first walkthrough for the hole-in-one challenge.
Yes, we did. I'm very excited. And Ty, I'm kind of back in on believing in you.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, let's get to some of your comments in the YouTube chat. It's brought to you by Odd Company Brewing and the Nation Beer Everyday Lager, a crisp, clean lager crafted not just for game day, but for every day. Find one by going to liquorconnect.com, typing in Odd Company Brewing, Nation Beer, and finding a liquor store near you. McDoust was the first comment, and he's got, does the public see the number 1 and number 2 in the chat, or is that just us?
I don't know.
Because there's a new top commenter thing on YouTube. McDoust has a number 1 next to his name. He said, hello, other sickos. It's July 18th. I'm 20 minutes early to talk hockey. He also said Oilers have $45 million to spend next offseason. And then he went and did all the math on that. I did the math on that for an article a week ago on OilersNation.com. I know you're saying they have $22 million to replace 9 guys. Ekholm, Kulak, Podkolzin's an RFA. The other thing they need in that is all their goaltending. So you might look at $22 million and be like, oh, they have lots of money to spend. Once you spend $8 million on goaltending, and even if Ekholm and Kulak or their replacements are only, let's call that $8 million, one of them's going to have, even if they're the same money, that's almost 9. That's $5 million to replace the final 5 guys on your roster. The cap situation next summer is not that pretty.
It's misleading. The money goes quick.
It's very, very misleading. We can maybe talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Craig has a question about the Coldplay concert and everything that's going viral there. I was going to save that for what's trending.
That was insane.
Yeah, it was wild. And it's also one of those things that's just blown up so fast that now it's just absolutely everywhere.
I said this is the slowest week of the sports calendar. and then you drop that. And I felt like Twitter just really latched on to that.
No, that is totally fair.
The everything app.
Where are you getting $7 million for Walman? I mean, Jake Walman's probably going to be a $7 million player. I don't know if anyone in the show has paid attention to some of the other signings that have gone on so far this offseason. But like, if Ivan Provorov's getting $8.5 million, Jake Walman's getting $7 million. He was good. He was probably their best defenseman in the playoffs, or in the Cup final, I should say. In the Cup final, Bouchard's the best defenseman in the playoffs. Walman was great in the Cup final.
Yeah, like I think Walman's come to Edmonton and been everything that they really needed him to be. Like came in, I didn't really know a whole lot about Walman when he first got here, but he's been unreal. Other than the gritty, but
that's the only thing I knew about him was the gritty.
He's so sick defensively. He was unreal, and even that first game, like he made a big impact in that first game, laying out Mikko Rantanen, huge assist to Hyman. Like he's been sick. I would totally want to re-sign Walman.
Yeah, and again, I was going to talk about this today, and maybe it is like a good opening topic to get into on the show, but like how many Oilers could get extensions this summer? Like I think we all obviously know Connor McDavid's going to get an extension at some point here. What's it going to be? I get that there's a lot of people out there who are doing the whole like, is he going to sign for 4 or 5? Why would he go max term? I'm not at all ruling out the idea that Connor McDavid is still going to sign for 8 years. One, it's the final year of the CBA where you can sign an 8-year extension. So if you're Connor McDavid, it's your last chance to really sign one of those big tickets. And we don't know what his priorities are. Is it a 4 or 5 year deal to, and I've heard this, continue to put pressure on management for them to put a winner around him? That pressure exists whether Connor McDavid is signed for 4 or 5 years or 7 or 8 years. I think he wants to see a plan. I think they're going to outline a plan to him, and that's why you see names like Frederick, 27 years old, and they've talked highly of Savoy and Howard, both 21. Like they've outlined a plan to McDavid for how this team is not just going to compete for the next 2 or 3 years, but for the next 6, 7, 8 years. So if you're McDavid and you can get an $8 by $16 million deal, it goes down as what I would believe to be the highest dollar value contract in NHL history. McDavid might want that. And also, if you sign the biggest dollar value deal in NHL history and the term limits go down, it's going to take a while for someone to knock you off that mantle. So, I mean, again, does McDavid want to continue to put pressure on? I think that pressure exists anyways, because at any point in an 8-year contract, McDavid can just go, we've lost in the first round 3 straight years, like, fucking trade me. And you have to trade him. You can't hold McDavid hostage.
Yeah, like he has all the cards in his hand.
All the time.
Yeah. There's no matter if it's an 8-year or if it's a 1 year even. Like he can do whatever he wants, really. He's the face of the sport. Like he has every power, and he should. Like he deserves all of this power. I think he's going to be back regardless. Like, and no matter what the years are, he's got a job to finish, I think.
Yep.
And I think we're going to be happy when he resigns.
For me, I think that I like to keep my expectations on the floor because then you can be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I'm going into it thinking McDavid signs a 4-year deal. It just makes financial sense. I always reference the LeBron James thing of cap keeps going up. You're the face of the league. You always keep yourself in position to be the number 1 highest paid player. But there's that realm also, like take it for what you made the money, everything. Connor McDavid does not strike me as a gentleman who likes talking about looming contract discussions all the time. So I think that could also be a factor in it. And then there's your classic, how much money do you actually need when you're Connor McDavid? Now it's generational, whatever. But I'm keeping my expectations on I guess the floor is a 4-year, I guess, in that sense. But I believe it could still be 8 years.
Dangerous Wade said, well, technically we can hold McDavid hostage, not legally, but technically we can. And that's fair. You could look at McDavid and be like, no, we're not trading you. Like, you can sit at home, but like, there's no win in that for anyone. The other thing would be an 8-year deal for McDavid is, 16, 17. I think it could go as high as 18, if I'm being honest. If it is an 8-year deal, 8 by 18 is not an insane expectation to have on this thing.
If it's 8 years, it's blank check.
Oh,
I mean it's blank check regardless,
blank check anyways,
but even more so.
Yeah, so if he were to sign for 18 by year 4 or 5, we obviously would know like that's a value. There's probably going to be a few more guys getting into that range. That would also like McDavid doing the 8-year deal, getting a shitload of guaranteed money, going all the way up to 18. That would like satisfy the side of like, do you need the NHL, or is there pressure from the NHLPA for him to set the market and get other guys up to that dollar figure? 18 would do that because you'd have the next wave of guys going around like 15, 16, 17. Then by the middle point of McDavid's contract, there'll be other guys getting up to 18. And I don't think he'd be playing 5 years of that deal where there's someone making more money than him. He honestly might only be playing 2 or 3, which isn't insane either. But also, if it's at the back half and that's a point where, and I'm just trying to justify an 8-year deal from McDavid's perspective, where he goes, I'm out, I want to be traded. $18 million is a sum of money that a contender could stomach, right? Like, you could realistically afford that at that point. Bring in McDavid, still have good players around him. I don't think an 8-year deal is insane for Connor McDavid. I also think some of the outside reporting, the Oilers, like, let's think about where a report or a leak on this negotiation could come from. Are the Oilers leaking anything? No, because as Aaron just alluded to, this is a one-sided negotiation. This is Connor McDavid saying, this is what I want. What's the plan? The Oilers have to present the plan, then agree to what Connor McDavid wants. So who's leaking this? Who benefits from it getting out that Connor McDavid wants to sign a 4 or 5 year deal? The McDavid camp does. The Oilers don't benefit from that at all.
He wants to see how the team's going to be built before he signs a thing. So that comes from the camp.
Every Toronto media member who is putting out there the 4 or 5 year deal, I know there's other people doing it, but like Judd Moldover's also, is he not Austin Matthews' agent? Yeah, he is. Okay, you don't think they want to do a little bit of bidding for Judd here? Like, I don't know. I don't mean to make a big deal out of that, but I do think there is a little bit of like, there's one side who benefits from information getting out in all this, and it's Connor McDavid's camp. And we don't need to spend a ton of time talking about the Connor McDavid deal, because I actually think the Jake Walman conversation is a much more interesting extension point. Someone said, where are you getting $7 million for Walman? Again, I think comparables, that works. Where the whole, like, it's the last year you can sign an 8-year contract thing, where that actually does get relatively interesting is for a guy like Walman who goes, whoa, I'm 29 years old. I mean, he's going to be in his 30-year-old season when he signs that next contract. Giving Jake Walman the security of, how's an 8-year deal sound? It's the last contract you're likely ever going to sign in the league, but it is and I know he's making good money right now, $3.4 million. He's still under, I believe, 12 for his career earnings, but like, you go to Jake Walman, you say 8-year deal. Is the AAV going to be the 7.5 you're going to get on the open market? Maybe not, but let's do the math on 7.5 by 7. Wait, no, by the time he signs next summer, the most he could get is a 6-year deal, because the new CBA kicks in July 1. He'd be a free agent leaving the organization he's with. So that means the most, I'm just coming to this realization now.
Yaremchuk math, here we go.
Yaremchuk math. The most Jake Walman could get term-wise next summer is $6 million, or 6 years. So let's do 6 by $7.5 million. That's $45 million. If the Oilers right now went to him on an 8-year deal and said, we'll give you $45 million guaranteed, that's $5.6 million. So let's make it even more worth as well. Let's do an 8 by 6 with Jake Walman. I'd have no problem with that, because by the back half of that contract, there's a ton of 4 or 5 defensemen making $6 million. That will be relatively close to the norm. And from Walman's perspective, 8 years, you guarantee him, based on my math now, pretty much $50 million on that deal. You give him the bag to stay in Edmonton and to be on a winner. I have a hard time thinking he turns that down. And again, maybe you're nervous going 8 years. Maybe the number's going to be lower. Maybe you do need to be in that 5.6 range to like truly feel comfortable with it. But I don't know, man. With the way the cap's going,
I don't think that's happening in reality.
No.
I don't think that's, no.
I would do 8 by 6 for Jake Walman.
I would totally do 8 by 6 for Jake. He's only made $15.475 million only, but he's made a lot of money, but it's not a ton in terms of like actual NHLers. So I would totally see him trying to just get a bag on this. And Tyler's right. Like, a 6-year deal is only going to get him so far when like these other teams aren't going to be able to offer him that much money times that many years. So if the Oilers can step up and just do the 8 and maybe take a little bit of money off his salary yearly, I think that would hugely help the Oilers. And then you've locked down like a legitimate top 4 defenseman for the next like 5 or 6 years of his prime.
Yeah, I'm with you. As far as the other guys go, because I know we did get a question about this, would I sign anyone else? So the other pending UFAs are Matthias Ekholm, Brett Kulak, and Troy Stetcher on the blue line. I'm not signing. Also, I took off my hoodie while Reese gave that take, everybody. I'm not signing Ekholm until I see what he's at health-wise. I probably need to see the full season. Brett Kulak, I'm probably not signing either until the end of the season. Need to see where he's at. Want to see how the rest of this blue line looks. It's just no one there that I'm like chomping at the bit to bring back. Up front, Henrique, you're not re-signing. Kapanen, Tomasek, not right now, obviously. Podkolzin, I'd be intrigued at a Podkolzin extension or sooner rather than later. you do run somewhat of a risk of him like popping off at some point. Like we know he has offensive ability in him. He has to learn to shoot the puck.
Yeah, that's the big one.
I hope every day this summer, Vasily Podkolzin is sitting in his backyard, wherever he lives in Russia, just ripping
$1,000 a day.
$1,000 a day. Just $1,000 a day. If you learn how to shoot, you will score 20 goals on this Oilers team. And he could be more expensive next summer relative to what you could get him for now. So like, if I went to Vasily Podkolzin right now and I said 2x2, I would do that contract right now. Does he do that? It would walk him right to unrestricted free agency. It'd put another $4 million guaranteed in his pocket. It'd keep him in Edmonton, a place where he's clearly comfortable and is spoke very highly of. 2x2 for Podkolzin, I would do that right now, and I would run the risk of running into unrestricted free agency simply on the back of you might get a value contract for the not next year, but the year after and the year after that. So I'd be intrigued by a Podkolzin extension.
We talk about it all the time that you need to take risks, like the Leon Draisaitl contract at the time. You go, was that totally worth it? Bang, becomes the best deal in the NHL for a while. And Pods, at $2 million. But if you could get 15, 20 goals for $2 million next to Leon Draisaitl, always talking about finding bottom level contracts, value in there. The Edmonton Oilers need to play that game. And also, we just love Pods. But will he learn to shoot the puck? TBD. That's a big question mark, and that's a big part about playing top six with Leon. Yeah. We know he can do everything else, but that's big.
Pods was also a guy that said that he's looked up to Hyman a lot in his NHL career. And Hyman's not a guy that came in like immediately and started making an impact. Like it took him a couple of years, finally found his groove, and then now look at him like he's one of the most impactful power forwards in the NHL.
So that's a great point, right? And obviously like different trajectories because one's a first-round pick, one was a 6th, 7th-round pick, got traded from Florida to Toronto and took a while. But Podkolzin is just coming off his age 23 season. I mean, Zach Hyman in his age 23 season, he's 33 now. So when did he turn 33? Recently. So he's coming off his 32 season. So 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. In his 23-year-old season, he played 16 games with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Next year, he played 82, but only scored 10 goals. Year after that, 15 goals, 82 games. Then finally, in what would be his age 27 season, he scored 21 goals. Then he had his 28, 29-year-old season, signed with the Oilers. And I mean, listen, not everyone's going to be able to do what Zach Hyman did and be like a true late bloomer, late developer to that extent. But I would be willing to call him like a lowercase Zach Hyman where, he's never going to score you, Podkolzin that is never going to score you 54 goals. Maybe there's 25 in there and a good penalty killer and a guy who plays physical. It can be a middle six guy. Like if you believe that's in there, then you give him 2x2. And I see what someone said in the chat saying, I'm more intrigued by keeping him hungry in his contract year. You can do that. We just did it with Evan Bouchard. Cost you mightily. And again, Vasily Podkolzin's a different conversation. Because taking the risk on Bouchard cost you, one, the ability to get him to 8 years, and it probably cost you $3 million a year on that $4 million contract. Like, it was ugly, but that's because he had high ceiling. Podkolzin, you can lock him in 2x2 now. If he scores 22 goals next season and kills penalties and plays a lot with Draisaitl, we're talking about 2x4 at that point. Like, it could legitimately get that high with the way the market's going. Squishy says, I'd like to see him sign for 5. I don't want to take that risk. Because if you go 5 years, you probably need to be again in that 2.5, 3 range. I don't want to take that risk if I'm not certain he can get me north of 15 goals. And what we saw last year is that it's not certain he can get you more than 15 goals. He finished with 8 and he played all 82 games and he played a lot with Leon Draisaitl. Like there is still a floor here with Vasily Podkolzin, and it's a guy who is nothing more than a fourth liner. So yeah.
And he's contributed well as a fourth liner. Like, even in the playoffs, like, there was never a game where I was like, oh, Pods is having a bad game tonight. Like, he's always going 100%, always laying the extra hit.
Brings his lunch pail to work every day.
Exactly. Like, has no problem doing the dirty work. And I think that's what a lot of these big boys on Edmonton need, is just some guy that's going to go in the corners, dig it up, muck it up, and get the puck over to them as fast as possible.
Leon Draisaitl loves that type of player. That was Warren Fogle, how he scored 20 goals, retrieve pucks, get it to him, go to the net. Bang.
All right, let's keep cruising along with the show because this conversation does kind of bleed into something we got on the Newswire. The Newswire earlier in the week. The news is brought to you by Litco Law. When employers cross the line, Litco Law is here to referee. If you've been fired without cause, pushed out of your job, or treated unfairly at work, a good employment lawyer can help. Call for backup so you can defend your rights and make sure you get what you're owed. Go to litcolaw.com and book your free consult today. You work hard, you deserve what's fair. Level the playing field. Visit litcolaw.com. Lukas Dostal, 25-year-old goalie, just turned 25 in Anaheim, signed a 5-year, $6.5 million AAV extension with the Ducks. He is their goalie of the future. He is a big reason why they traded away John Gibson to the Detroit Red Wings, and he's coming off a year where he started 49 games, appeared in 54, put together what I would call very impressive numbers considering the quality of team he played for in the Anaheim Ducks. He's got 2 full seasons as basically an NHL starter. I know the year before he only started 38 of their 82 games, but he's legit. Eye test, analytics, all that stuff. Lukas Dostal is a number 1 goalie in the making. He gets a 5 by $6.5 million deal, and that leads a lot of people to go, well, what does this mean for Stuart Skinner? Stuart Skinner has better regular season numbers than Lukas Dostal. Maybe not last year, but Stuart Skinner in his first season as a starter popped off a 914. Even in 2023-24, he had a 905, which is still a better save percentage than Lukas Dostal has had in either of his 2 full seasons in the NHL. So one guy puts up better numbers on a better team, one guy puts up worse numbers on a garbage team, and kind of gives you the better feeling that he can be a legit number 1. But what I find interesting about Dostal, comparing him to Skinner, is that a lot of the stink for Stuart Skinner comes from how he's played in the playoffs and how he doesn't elevate in the playoffs or gets worse in the playoffs. With Dostal, I mean, you don't know if he gets better or worse in the playoffs. It's a bit of an unknown. I love the contract for Anaheim because, again, with the way the market's going, lock up your young guys while you can. But still, the comparison to Stuart Skinner, like we got a question in the mailbag that was like, what would you sign Stuart Skinner to this contract? Or what does this mean for Stuart Skinner? And like, if Skinner takes a step forward in the regular season this year, and let's say he's, 9-10, starts 50 games again, has a really consistent regular season, and then plays well in the playoffs, Stuart Skinner probably gets a contract pretty close to this because with Dostal, they're buying, I think, 3 RFA years out of the 5. With Stuart Skinner, he is a pure unrestricted free agent. He can go to market on July 1 next year. This actually might be a somewhat decent comparable for a Stuart Skinner contract if next year goes well for him. If it's another poor playoff performance and all that, Stuart Skinner's not going to be in Edmonton again if he has another poor playoffs or a poor regular season, or if they just replace him at the deadline. Like, there is a path, and maybe it's the most likely path. I'm not here today to make that declaration either way, but there's a path to Stuart Skinner not being an Oiler a year from now. There's also a path to him getting a contract like Dostal, I think.
For sure, and it's a lot of money to spend on like your starting goalie for sure. I think it's a really good deal for Anaheim and Dostal. Like, I think he's legit. The numbers don't jump out at you, but like he's legit number 1.
We've seen it firsthand with that, dude.
Yep, exactly. But I think like Stuart Skinner, I think the number, no matter when you extend Stuart Skinner or if you don't, somebody is going to pay him about that same amount of dollar value. Like, I just don't think the numbers, like the years, are going to be there. Like, I don't think if the Oilers were to extend him, he's not going to get 5 years. I think it's going to be like a shorter term contract, still like a show me deal. But I think that it's a very good comparable if Stu can go out and like be a dog this year, like we kind of expect him to.
Yeah, and again, this is all on the premise of like he has a good bounce back season.
So what is a good bounce back season for Stuart Skinner in the regular season? It's all on the playoffs, but
50 games played, above a 905. I'd like to see a 910 save percentage.
I can get down with that.
And then in the
but it all matters about the playoffs.
All that matters is the playoffs. Yeah. But I do think like there's a world where coming out of January, Stuart Skinner has you confident enough or has this front office, I should say, maybe not you listening or watching the show, where he has the front office confident enough that he can be better in the playoffs and that they don't need to address it at the deadline. So I don't know. Again, the Dostal deal, it's not a direct comparable because we're buying RFA years. It's a guy on a bad team who's never been in the playoffs. It's a guy who has been in the playoffs but has shrunk when that moment's hit him. Like, there's too many variables. It's a little too apples to oranges where they're both fruits, but they're both very different. I think it can provide an interesting comparable if this season plays out in a very specific way. We did get some action on the trade front this week as the Vancouver Canucks traded Dakota Joshua to the Toronto Maple Leafs in exchange for a 4th-round pick in 2028. Dakota Joshua had a monster season in 2023-24 with the Canucks, scored 18 goals in 63 games. They were thinking they had a power forward, 20-goal scorer winger, so they paid him accordingly. They gave him a 4-year deal at $3.75 million. I had a take on this show. I'm pretty sure I was sitting in this spot last summer when it was signed, and I said, this dude is getting bought out, and Canucks fans roasted me. Absolutely roasted me. Well, this isn't a buyout, but trading a guy 1 year into a deal for a 4th-round pick that's coming 3 drafts from now, yeah, I would say that's a bit of a failure of a contract. And now, listen, I do think we should throw in the caveat that he got off on the wrong foot this season, had to start late. He battled cancer. He was one of the best stories in the NHL. Believe he was a Masterton finalist. But this contract was bad from the get-go. And now you get the Toronto Maple Leafs, who still have $3 million in cap space. But with the money they saved from Marner, part of the reason why I was kind of like, man, maybe losing Marner isn't the end of the world is because and people always get worried, like, oh, you're going to let someone leave for free in free agency. And what you kind of ignore when you make that argument or have that conversation is like the cap space is just as valuable. Like cap space is a commodity. It's an asset. You let Mitch Marner walk because you don't pay him $12 million. Okay, you have $12 million to go spend it elsewhere on your roster. The way the Leafs did it, I think, is hilarious. So it's 10.89, which was Marner's salary last year. And now for $10.5 million, you get Matias Maccelli, Dakota Joshua, Nicholas Roy, and Michael Pezzetta. I love that they put him in here. Michael Pezzetta is not an NHLer. If he's your 13th forward, you're okay with him. But like, Jesus. Anyways, Maccelli can score you maybe 20 goals next year. Maybe he gets you 55 points in the best case scenario. Dakota Joshua, the year he scored 18 goals, he shot 21%. Every other year, he's 15%, 13%. Dakota Joshua's not scoring you 25 goals next year. Dakota Joshua's scoring you 15 in all likelihood. Maybe 16, 17. I don't think he ever gets to 18 again. I like Nicholas Waugh. He's a good third-line center. But to act like, and maybe, hey, they'll be tougher to play against in the playoffs and all this, and they still have Matthews and they still have Nylander and Tavares. I mean, I don't think he's getting you 38 again, but he's obviously still a good player. I just think the Leafs actually lost a lot of high end from their roster. And I get you can say like the high end was never an issue. It was their depth that was an issue. I don't know. I don't look at that Leafs team on paper right now and be like, boy, they're better than they were a year ago because of that swap that we saw on the graphic.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say that they've added a ton of skill by any means. Like I think Maccelli's good, but I mean Joshua, I think you're kind of expecting him to basically do exactly what he did last year and like the year before he got the 20 goals or 18 goals or whatever it was. Like I think you have to kind of tame your expectations for this team. Like it's not like Scott Lawton came and had like some offensive explosion coming to this team. It's not. They need a little bit more offense, I think. But they still do have those anchors with like Nylander and Matthews.
Yep.
And
Bobby McMahon's a stud. Matthew Nyes.
I do like Bobby McMahon. Nyes is probably scoring you 35 every year for the rest of his career. I love Matthew Nyes. I think that was a great contract. And that also didn't go into the calculation that you then had the money to go out and give Matthew Nyes the long-ish extension that he wanted. So that is fair.
When I look at the Leafs team, I kind of think it's like the Oilers because you can be like, and they're always going to get the discussion. Oh, did they get better? Did they get worse? I mean, I don't think they gradually improved, but I don't think they got that much worse. And you just go, oh, they were just a really good team last year, much like the Oilers. We're just going to be a really good team again this next year. Additions, subtractions, it's what's about already on the roster, which includes Brandon Carlo, who just realized he was traded.
Yeah, that's something that was very funny today on Instagram. Brandon Carlo, like a day ago or a couple of hours ago, put out a thank you post to the Boston Bruins organization. So he says in it, I really want to find it now, but I doubt I will. Yeah. Carlo. I'm messing this up. Yeah, okay. Anyways, he put out a thank you post being like, man, Bruins, loved my time there. Thank you so much. Then he ends it with, excited for what's going to come next. You've been a Leaf for 6 months. Like, I was very confused.
What's next was the NHL playoffs.
Yeah, like, what's next is like next season, and you're a Leaf, Brendan Carlo. That was weird. Their blue line's interesting, though, in Toronto. Like, I know Riley took a step back. McCabe has kind of taken a step back. Tanev's old. Ekman Larson. But, like, you go through the list of 6 guys, and you're like, oh, those are all 6 names. But what's the upside of that blue line? I don't know. Do they have a game changer on the blue line?
They're all definitely on the older side.
I don't think they'll win their division again.
No?
No.
Florida?
Tampa, maybe. I do like Tampa a little bit.
I thought Tampa was going to beat Florida in the playoffs. Yeah. I was so high on the Lightning, and then, was I wrong.
We got a question in the chat. Vancouver made room for a center. I mean, not really. Vancouver has a full roster, but they only have $3.2 million in cap space. So, like, they might sign Jack Roslovic.
Dude, their center depth is EP, Hedel, Atu, Ratu, and Bluger.
Yep.
What are we doing here?
Hedel probably can't play more than 20 games in a row because of his concussions. Pedersen kind of stinks.
Nice.
So I don't know what you do there. What else is in the news?
Let's just keep hating on other Canadian teams.
It's so much fun to be in the spot we're at. We're like, I mean, in past summers, we'd be sitting here like, oh man, what's going to happen? Who's going to play with who? And now we just sit here and be like, we're good. Like, we're going to be in the playoffs.
We're solid.
Those other teams are all dumpster fires. Yegor Chinnikov from the Columbus Blue Jackets requested a trade. He did it in very, very broken English via his agent. The tweet made little to no sense. I had some misunderstandings with the coach during the season. Now I would be glad to have a trade. I would like to move to a different location. Will I return to Russia? As long as I can play in the NHL, I will keep developing here. Okay. The weird, vague threat to go to Russia was kind of the part that threw me. Yegor Chinnikov is making $2.1 million for the next year. He is a left shot, left winger. And this ties in a little bit to my Sherwood Ford Giant question, so maybe we can just skip ahead to that. It's brought to you by our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant and Nation Valet Service. Never visit the dealership again for your routine car maintenance. Find out more, sherwoodford.ca. My question is this. Do you think the Oilers will still get in on the trade market? I looked at Chinnikov, and I'm like, listen, a couple years ago, this is a guy who I'd be like, go get him, go get him. He has upside. He can score a little bit. His metrics are actually half decent. Like, go get him. I look at this Oilers team right now, and it's like, if you wanted to go get Chinnikov, there's no room for him. You look at their roster, top six, Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman, Nuge. Let's throw Mangiapane in there. One of Savoy or Howard. In the bottom six, you're going to have the other one of Savoy or Howard. You have Henrique, Janmark, Kapanen, Tomasek, Podkolzin. If you want to include one of Philp or Lazar, we're already going 13 deep. If you put the other one of Philp or Lazar because you can see that they're NHLers, that's 14 guys. We're running 14 deep here on this Oilers roster. 15 deep, actually, because I forgot Trent Frederick. You have too many cooks in this kitchen probably already, and like you can't trade. You're obviously not trading a Savoy for him. You're not trading Howard for him. You're not trading Podkolzin for Chinnikov.
Get Matthias Janmark off this fucking team.
Well, like that's the only spot where I'm like, and I think someone put it in there as a mock deal.
Chinnikov kill penalties?
I don't think he can kill penalties. I can double check, but I think that's probably part of the reason why him and Dean Evison didn't see eye to eye, because Chinnikov was a little bit one dimensional, but. Yeah, I don't really see it here. I don't see a fit. Someone was like, would you trade Janmark in a second for him? Like, I guess. But then you're going to get to the point where, like, Chinnikov's just playing in your bottom six, and he's probably just as miserable here as he is in Columbus, and that's why he's asking for a trade. So, like, I don't know. I don't see it. Sherwood Ford Giant question, can I see the Oilers getting in on a trade? I had someone the other day at the softball diamond. I got on first base with a base hit, and the first baseman goes, hey, think we can get Marchessault out of Nashville? And I was like, what? I'm like trying to play.
You get that all the time.
I get it all the time. And I was like, I don't think so. I was like, but I thought about it more as the night went on. And it's the same thing. I'm like, you don't have room for these guys. Like, never mind the money to acquire a guy like Marchessault, even someone like Chinnikov who's affordable. I just don't see where you fit them into your lineup. It just doesn't make sense. To me, you've made your moves already. They're going to be standing pat. My answer is no. Reese, do you think the Oilers can get in on the trade market at all?
I doubt it. Like, I think they've already kind of made their big move grabbing Howard. Like, yep. I think that they've added kind of exactly what they've needed to add, a little bit of skill and a lot of youth. And I think that this is huge for Knobloch. Kind of said earlier, like, he's willing to give these young guys an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think they need to run with that, because there's been too many years where it's like Broberg's not getting minutes, Holloway's not getting minutes. You have to start giving these young guys an opportunity to flourish, and just going out and grabbing some guy just for like shits and giggles, I think is just like pointless.
I agree. Also, Chinnikov did not kill a second of penalties for.
All right, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. We keep getting the question.
Still in on getting rid of Janmark, possibly. Though.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you kind of have to be if you're trying to free up a little bit of cap space, but
he's the only expendable one when I look at that roster.
Henrique, to an extent,
I guess, but
a center. I know Janmark played a little bit of center too, and he's cheaper. Still.
I just feel like Rico's a better Janmark.
Yeah, I think Rico's better. A bunch of you keep asking us in the chat about Olin Zellweger, because Bob talked about the possibility of him being moved, and like, would you trade Kulak for Zellweger? I don't think so. I don't think that's a move that totally lines up with what the Oilers want to do. I'll check again to see if he kills penalties, but I don't think he does off the top of my head. Because that's the thing. Like if you're gonna move Kulak and you're doing it for the, one, you're getting younger. I understand why this is a conversation.
I don't think he kills penalties.
No, he does not. He killed 5 minutes of penalties in 62 minutes last year. But anyways, he's 21.
How'd he do?
There's offensive upside in a guy like Owen Zellweger. Getting him to be an NHLer in your lineup on his ELC, like that would provide value for the Oilers. He's played 88 games in the NHL. He has 29 points. Like there's a player there. I think there's a good player there. But you look at a blue line that already has Walman and Bouchard on it. And I'm not against getting another puck mover at all. That's not where I want this conversation to go. I think more puck movers makes you a better team. But you need guys who are multidimensional, who can kill penalties, who can do a whole bunch of things for you. And like in the middle of your Stanley Cup window, when you've already made the decision to go younger with your forward group of Savoy and Howard, I don't think you also in the same turn want to go younger and more offensive on your blue line. I would want to keep a guy like Brett Kulak. And again, you would have to add to that. You're not getting Zellweger straight up for Brett Kulak. There is pieces being added into that deal. So that's another thing, is you can do Kulak, and I don't even think this is enough, but let's say it's Kulak and a second for Zellweger. Okay, now you've lost a bullet at the trade deadline. Your blue line is not as defensively sound as it currently is. You have one fewer penalty killer, so then you're relying on Evan Bouchard to kill penalties on a regular basis now because you'd need Bouchard, Nurse, Ekholm, Emberson or Stetcher, and then you probably also need Walman to kill to some extent. I'm just not sacrificing a penalty killer for a third pairing puck mover. I don't think I would trust a Zellweger Emberson pairing on my third pair. I'm not doing that. I don't think he's a fit. He's a prime example of you don't need to go get every guy that's on the market. So again, like Zellweger, think he's going to have a great career. Think the Ducks would be stupid to trade him unless they're making a great deal where they get a stud young forward or they're packaging him with McTavish and getting some really, really good, complete impact 28-year-old, 29-year-old in their lineup. I just don't see it. I don't see it as a guy for Edmonton. You don't need to go out and get every player.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a logjam in Anaheim, but I think they would also be stupid to move Zellweger. I know I was just saying you've got to play these young guys, but I think if the Oilers were to go out and get them, then you're giving too many big roles to too many young guys, especially on a team that wants to compete and win a Stanley Cup. Yeah, I think it'd be sick to add him, but I just don't think it really makes a ton of sense, where this team is going.
No.
Shocker, I'm not in support of that trade whatsoever. I love my boy Brett Kulak, but he's the chameleon, right? He can play in different spots. He PKs, can play on the first pairing. Also, if you want looking at Connor McDavid about, hey, we're trying to win right now, I do think they probably like a Brett Kulak on the squad. They know his value. Don't make me reference again his Iron Man streak he's got going right now.
Best abilities, availability, man.
Damn right. I'm riding Brett Kulak till the wheels fall off.
All right, let's get to our question segment because I saw someone ask if we're doing that. We don't have a guest today on the Star Mechanical guest line because it's July 18th and 90% of the hockey world who we rely on to be our guests are at the cottage.
Shout out Reece.
Shout out Reece. Not talking about the sport, but we're here because we love you guys. So we are the guests today on the Star Mechanical guest line, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more by visiting them online at starmechanical.ca. This one comes in from Mac. Question for Reece. To what extent is the architect... Let me restart that. To what extent is the architecture of global socioeconomic mobility constrained by path-dependent institutional inertia rather than individual agency?
Your thoughts?
How many of those words do you know? I know 4.
I could decipher a couple, but I
think it's a capitalism question.
Yeah, I think I'd do better if I could go home and research this subject before, and then I can give you a much better response after.
It's live podcasting, brother. Don't get time.
Don't waste your time researching any of that. Before I get to the Twitter ones, I want to just quickly scroll. I miss our old streaming software when I could star the good questions.
Someone asked you if you would wear a hat for forever or go bald or something.
Oh, would I sacrifice my hair or my collection of hats? I would stop wearing hats.
Yeah,
I have good hair. I just choose to wear hats. But it made me think. So it's a good question because it made me think. Yeah, Reece took his hat off for the show. Very professional of you.
I think I look really funny looking with a hat sometimes. Okay. So I'm team hair for sure.
You got the most Canadian good. That's hockey boy flow. That's good lettuce, as the kids say. That's good lettuce.
No team is giving him that deal today. Stu's going to have to prove a lot this season if he wants to get that kind of deal. That was kind of my exact point, honestly, with the Skinner conversation. Were there any other ones that you saw in there, Aaron, or should I go to Twitter?
You go to Twitter right now. I'm going to keep scrolling in here because I did see some.
All right, so we got some questions. Someone tweeted me and asked if the Oilers should get Arbor Xhekaj. That's ridiculous. I really don't want to talk about that. All right, we got a couple. Den hopped in. He said, is this Oilers forward group deep enough, big enough, vet savvy enough? Last year, my concern was too old and too slow. This year, I'm worried about lack of legit top six forwards. Obviously, Savoy Howard can easily change that perception. So I'll try to tackle this and parse through this the best I can. Is this Oilers forward group deep enough? Yes, I think they are. I'm very excited to see what a guy like Trent Frederick can do throughout the course of the entire season. Mangiapane, I think, can't be worse than a guy like Victor Arvidsson was. I see some amount of upside here. I'm also really intrigued at the idea of Adam Henrique becoming a winger and maybe shuffling some pieces lower down. Like, you might be able to create a third line that scores out of like a Nuge, Mangiapane, Savoy, Nuge, Mangiapane, Howard. Like, there might be something there. So yes, they're deep enough. Where I don't like the question, Den, and this is just me giving you an answer, you asked, are they vet savvy enough? Then you said, last year my concern was too old and too slow. So which is it? Are you concerned that they're not vet savvy enough this year? But you also then would have been upset if they ran back all the vets who were old and slow last year. So again, you have to take some amount of risk. There has to be some little bit of you in your stomach that's uneasy about this season. Because yeah, Matt Savoy might not work. I think he will. I think he's a good penalty killer. I think he'll fill a role. Isaac Howard might not work. He might need to go down to Bakersfield for a couple of months. Like, you don't know. Andrew Mangiapane, yeah, he might not work. Like, all these changes you made come with some amount of risk. But what I would say is last year we were so excited about Skinner and Arvidsson, and you say, I'm worried about the lack of legit top six forwards. Well, it turned out last year they didn't have any top six forwards either. They had to play Podkolzin and Kapanen in their top six for a really, really big chunk of the year. So, again, am I worried about a lack of top six options? No, because they survived last year when they didn't have a lot of top six options.
And I think they do have a lot of top six options. Like, I think Frederick
their top six could be no different than second line right wing from last year.
Pretty much.
Which was a revolving door the entire time.
Like, I think everybody can almost hop in. Like, Kapanen's slotted on the fourth line on daily faceoff. Like, he saw a lot of time with Draisaitl last year and was successful. Like,
Nuge can go back with McDavid and Hyman, which we know is a trio that runs the league.
For sure. Yeah. And it's not like Henrique, like, can't produce offense. Like, he's still an offensive player. He had a tough year last year for sure, but I think the only guy you can't throw in the top six on this team is Janmark.
Yeah. Oh, they will. Oh, they will.
But they will, yeah.
They'll find a way. They will find a way. Rich says, you much prefer the risk of Savoy and Ike than the risk of 3.5 for Perry and 3.25 for Brown. Yes, 100%. Like, that's the other thing too, is like Corey Perry, one, even if you brought him back for $2 million, Father Time wins every battle it's ever been in, man. Like,
Tom Brady, fuck out of here.
Sure. At some point, Corey Perry stops scoring you 20 goals. At some point, he doesn't give you 80 games, like all of that stuff. So, yeah, I'm not even Connor Brown. I love Connor Brown. 3.5. I'm taking the more versatile Trent Frederick, who can also play center, and who one, he's younger, and I think he has much more upside. So
he also talks about the lack of like veterans. I think sometimes we got to remind ourselves, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Nuge are veterans. Bouchard has now lost in the Cup final twice. You don't get much more experience than that. I think they're guys who wear letters are their veterans now at this point, and they're fine in that realm for sure.
Mm-hmm. What else do we got here? We got a couple about life at the Nation that I'll get to.
Liam's in the chat and says, wow, on-camera appearance for Reece?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. With a new Bet365 sign.
Light night. Why are the Oilers recreating the Leafs' wonderful structure of paying a few guys a lot of money and the rest nothing? I think, so like, first off, I don't think the Leafs actually had the idea of paying everyone wasn't a terrible idea for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's the fact that they just got totally killed in every negotiation. Like, they did the thing, and I suppose this is what just happened with Bouchard too, but like, they gave Marner and Matthews the money and they didn't get the term. That's why I don't like the Bouchard deal, because you gave Bouchard the money and you didn't get the 8-year term. And the Leafs paid all these guys and signed them to shit term, and then you never got a point where it was valuable. The flat cap also kind of screwed the Leafs a little bit, where if the cap would have kept going up $4, $5, $6 million sort of every single year, like you hoped it would at some point, it just took longer to get there because of COVID. then those deals look better and it's different. The Leafs also made some really bad moves elsewhere in their lineup. So I don't know. I don't think the Leafs' struggles are on their decision to pay those top guys. I think their struggles came in other areas where they signed some really bad contracts. So I'm not worried about that at all. You take care of your top guys and good organizations figure out the rest.
And I think you're just kind of throwing in the Leafs there because, like, dude, every good team does that. The Blackhawks, you have to reward your good players with money. Now, the Blackhawks won. Leafs, Oilers haven't won yet, but the strategy remains the same.
Yeah. What else do we got here? So we got...
I like Reece draw Liam. If we could get you a piece of paper, that would be great. I might text Dan.
Someone asked Team Muller Forever, what does a typical day for Tyler and Liam look like working at the Nation? That's a good question. I do think another thing that I've always found funny is people who watch the show every day and are like, is that your full-time
Dude,
job?
all the time in the summer, they go, so what do you do now? I'm like, nope, still
like I
still at the Nation.
I still go to work. Yeah. Like I still have a job or like full-time job. It's like, yeah, no, I do like a bunch of shows every day. So like if I were to give you a day of mine, if we're going during the season.
Yeah, give me the regular season with daily face-off. Yeah,
so let's say it's a Thursday in the regular season. We start recording DFO Rundown. Last year was with Frank and Gregor. We start recording that at 7. So I'm up at like 6:45. I do the rundown from 7 to 8. I still edit the audio for that and post it and do the article. So that's usually up by 8:30. Then I have like an hour to get ready for DFO Live, which is the 30-minute daily live show I do. Last year I did it with Frank. Next year I'll have a new co-host. And then we do that one live on DFO from 10 to 10:30. Then I run upstairs from my basement studio, make myself food, drive to the office, which is like half an hour from my house in St. Albert, get to the office usually around like 11:15-ish. We have 45 minutes to get ready for Oilers Nation every day. We do that from 12 to 1. Again, usually I prep all these shows the night before, but like 12 to 1, Oilers Nation every day. I have a 30-minute break to eat my lunch. We do real life from 1:30 to 2:30. If it's not a game day, I post real life or we get real life all posted up. I leave the office at 3. I'm home by 3:45, 4-ish.
Throw in a radio hit or two there, maybe?
Yeah, I do Gregor Wednesdays, Low Tide Fridays. I do Vancouver like once every 2 weeks. So then my day's usually done at 4, and then I get to chill for 3-4 hours. And then usually around like 7 o'clock, I open up my laptop, and I have to prep DFO Live for the next day. So I got to book the guest for that. I got to do my 4 topics for the day, get the whole show ready.
Tell what graphics got to be made. Yeah.
Tell Pat what graphics he's got to make. And then the next day, and then that night, then I got to book, if we have guests for Oilers Nation every day, I got to book them that night. So my days are pretty busy during the season. And then right now it's a lot of planning. Like right now we're spending a ton of time planning the hole-in-one challenge. Yep. So like I wake up and I send emails about that for like an hour. And yeah.
We play games now. Oilers Nation Jeopardy should
Oilers
be dropping
Nation
soon.
Dropping soon. The summer's definitely more relaxed. Like during the season, I'm working a lot. During the summer, I work like a normal job.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you get to like fuck off at 2 o'clock, which is great.
I was joking yesterday that I worked from like 9:30ish, you could say, to like 5, and I was like, wow, that was like a regular ass work day.
I worked a regular work day in the summer.
Like regular people.
But during the season, because you do pre and post, so like you'll have a long day, then you do pre and post till midnight, then you're up the next morning and coming back to do
going
O&E.
again. Yeah, so I'd say for me, like for O&E, I'm usually here around 10:30, somewhere there. I start prepping O&E. If I need anything, I text Ty and Liam. We do that. Finish the show. Post podcast, get the clips out. Reese, Brett, they help out with making the clips and whatnot. Prep for pregame, do pregame, watch hockey all night, do the postgame, wake up, do it all over again. It's a hell of a life. Wouldn't change a thing.
And Reese is in his first...
Reese made my life a lot easier when he joined this year. So shout out him.
Yeah, Reese was our intern for like 4 months. I think most of you remember. Now he's full-time, or he's part-time employee, Reese. But you're still having fun.
Part-time co-host.
Ton of fun. My days are pretty chill unless there's some like extravagant thing that has to happen. But yeah, I live the dream here at Oilers Nation.
Yeah, it really is.
I want to go find...
I miss Greta. I got to get back there.
I haven't been to Greta in a minute, which we're going to talk about them in a while. I put out this question on the Instagram as well and asked people for their things. Someone asked, should they trade for Chinnikov, Zellweger? Already talked about that. Anderson said, why not trade Janmark and or Henrique? Honestly, there are no trade clauses are probably the biggest problem here. Like, could you have found a team who's just going to put their hand up and be like, we'll take Adam Henrique for the final year of his deal? Yes, but he has a full no trade clause. Could you have probably found a team who would take Matthias Janmark? He has a 10-team no-trade list that's probably buggering it up to some extent. And I don't think they're all that keen on trading Janmark. I think they would if they had to. But as it sits right now, they have a full roster with 14 forwards, 7 defensemen, and 2 goalies. And they have $225,000 in cap space. So if they were to send down Curtis Lazar and start the season with the other 13 forwards on their roster, which I think is the DFO lines you flashed up, Aaron, they would have $1 million in cap space that could accrue up to the deadline when you can get a $4 million player potentially, or close to it. Don't question me on my math. So I don't think they're in a rush to trade a bad contract. I think they know they can wait a little bit and accrue some cap space. The other thing they could do is just run with 12 forwards and be accruing on $2.1 million in cap space, which would be very, very interesting, because then at the deadline, you're talking about $8 million you could potentially have to spend, which could help you go get a goalie. It's easier to get a goalie at the deadline with the cap space than it is right now when you only have $225,000.
I got another one in here from Thomas. Asked, with the new CBA in place until 2030, is the current playoff format locked in as well?
They have no interest in changing it.
As much as I enjoy crushing the Kings in round 1, you'd like to see something different.
The only thing that I could see changing is when they expand to 34 teams in the next 5-6 years, we're going to get a play-in, because they're going to want to give 18 out of the 34 teams the chance to get in.
Are you guys a fan of the NBA play-in? Do you like it?
I'm not a big enough. You're a bigger NBA fan, so you can probably answer that.
I'm not like to die for it. Like, I think it's cool, but I also do think like it's got to be hard for those teams that finished like 8th, who would generally be making the playoffs, especially that first year, like to all of a sudden just get bounced by the Miami Heat coming in when they finished.
Who then
10th.
going around?
Yeah, like I think that it is tough to basically take away from a lot of what you've worked for in the regular season, but I do think that they kind of have to change something with the amount of teams that are coming in, because it's been 16 teams in the playoffs for the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Like, I think there is going to have to be a change, and if the play-in is going to be that, I don't think it's the end of the world.
Yeah. We got one from Jay, Warhammer Jay, who said, I'd love to know how to get to work at the Nation or how to get started in the industry like that. There is one place where literally all of us started. We went to the Nate Radio and TV program.
Go Ooks!
Go Ooks. And then you come out of there.
I think literally everyone here is pretty much like you, Liam, me, Pat, Reese, Eli, Brett.
Was.
Peyton.
We run our internship program basically out of there. Yeah, I mean, that's the easiest way.
That's the answer.
You get an internship somewhere, you do good at your internship, and then hopefully they hire you. Or you need to go work 1,000 jobs and like grind it out. Like, I mean, I did Nate Radio and TV, graduated at 19 from there. Went and did my internship at 1260. They didn't hire me out of the gates. Liam and I started a junior hockey website where the Sherwood Park Crusaders paid us $50 a game and $50 a podcast to cover the team. Sick. We did that for a couple of years, and then eventually I got on part-time at 1260. I was making no money at 1260, and then eventually I got introduced to the Nation guys from Gregor. They needed someone to produce podcasts. I started producing the podcast, and then I was like, I think I can host the podcast. So I started hosting the podcast, and then eventually they hired me full-time, and that's how we got to where we are. And Reese is similar. You went to Nate Radio and TV, did your internship here for 4 months. We hired you because you're good. And there you go.
For me and my journey, because
yours was different.
I'm even older than Ty and Liam. I'm 29. So I went straight out of high school into Nate TV. I then moved to Lloydminster to work at their news station, did my internship, which I love doing. Not a Lloydminster guy. You could probably look at me up and down and go, yeah, that's not Lloyd material. So then I came back to Edmonton, and I was working like manual labor, was like, I don't know what I should do. I worked at the U of A for all of their sports games, and I started at like female basketball replay guy. And then I did male basketball, then I did volleyball, and then they directed, and then I was running it all. And that is where I met one Tyler Yaremchuk, which I remember clear as day. Something went wrong in a broadcast at the hockey game, and it was like 5 minutes before, and I was able to get it all back live and do something. Ty comes up to me at the first intermission, who at this point, I had known Ty for years now, and he comes up and he goes, so you know how all this stuff works? And I was like, yeah, I'd hope so. Like, I'm in charge of it all. And you went, might have something for you at the Nation. And then Bag Milk interviewed me with you, and the moment BM spoke, I went, holy shit, that's Bag Milk. Oh my God. And the rest is history, baby.
Yeah, you and I met at the U of A, which again is like another thing I always tell like
I'd
kids
recommend that for a spot.
Oh yeah, but I tell kids out of Nate that I'm always like, you have to like do everything because like you never know who you're gonna meet.
I forgot Riverhawks too.
Oh yeah, Riverhawks.
Yeah, I ran Riverhawks.
So yeah, there you go. That can wrap up our question because we do actually have a little bit more we need to get to today, including a What's Trending segment, which is brought to you by your friends at Greta. You know what? Greta's a great date night spot. I'll say that. It's been a while. I get married in 2 weeks, so it's been a minute since I've taken a girl on a first date. But if I was, so many good icebreaker opportunities at Greta. It's a great spot. Whether you're going out with your boys, whether you're going somewhere with someone for the first time, 10 out of 10.
Because sometimes, if you're going on that first date and there can be awkward silences. There can be pauses. You need something to guide the conversation along. How about throwing a football into a hole? How about shooting hoops? How about playing pinball, Greta? Also, their wing challenge going all month on the Thursdays. I believe it's every Thursday.
Bottomless wing night every Thursday all summer long. If you can eat 100 wings in 100 minutes, that's their challenge.
There's no way I could do that.
That's
I could.
insane.
No. I'm pretty sure there's a T-shirt as well.
Our boy Eric Sabrowski of the Cleveland Guardians, he did something like this once because we talked to him about it. He tried to see how many chicken nuggets he could put back in an hour, and I think he put back 90 chicken nuggets in an hour or something like that.
That's so gross.
I'd have to text him and get the answer. I'll have it by Monday. But anyways, he would probably kill the Greta challenge. Anyways, what's trending? Okay, we can talk about the Coldplay couple now because we're in what's trending. That was wild. I mean, listen, everyone's obviously seen this. It's a CEO and his head of HR at the Coldplay concert in Boston. They're both married to other people. The lady next to them also works for them, which she's just as criminal in all this as anyone else because
she's yucking it up,
and
right
she
here.
knows she is in on everything that is happening, which is crazy. 2 of your coworkers cheating on their wives,
Look at that
cheating on their
smile.
spouses together. That's crazy.
That was, once again, as I said, the sports calendar is light right now, so everyone latched onto this.
Sports Twitter needed something. We ran like crazy with this.
And the statement was fake.
I got got.
I got got. Tyler had to fill me in that I got got.
Yeah.
Hey, we've all gotten got on the internet. It happens.
My favorite tweet out of all of this was the one where it was the other guy who cheated on his wife at the Coldplay concert this morning. Phew. Whew. Almost got me.
Could have been me.
The statement was fake. Anyways, that was crazy.
It really was.
I feel...
I should have known the statement was fake when he was referencing lyrics.
Yeah.
But I thought it was so corny. I was like, well, billionaires are weirdos. So this guy's probably a huge Coldplay guy.
Yeah. Also, Anna Dua of Sportsnet put this out, and I really, really want to talk about it because she posted a picture of herself at a concert with a piece of pizza, a piece of cheese pizza. And on the pizza, she put a line of mustard, line of ketchup, line of mayonnaise. She put condiments on her pizza. That's one of the most insane things I have ever heard.
On pizza, that's absolutely nuts.
On pizza. So she had this follow-up. She said, for everyone pressed about the mayo, I put mayo on everything. Mayo makes any kind of food taste so much better. Honestly, sometimes I eat it straight out of the jar, which prompted Reece before the show to say that as a child, I would hope this is as a child, actually.
Yeah, this is little Reece.
You would just eat mayonnaise sandwiches.
Yeah, I didn't want to make my mom and dad work too hard on a lunch, so I'd just be like,
piece
hey,
of bologna would have been too much.
2 pieces of white bread, just lather it up in some mayo. Not a ton.
Are you toasting the bread?
No.
What the fuck, man?
This is just like when you're camping and stuff, you don't have a ton of utilities.
In jail, Guantanamo Bay.
It satisfied me then. I think if I were to have one now, I'd throw up. This whole thing of eating out of the jar is insane.
So I have a take about mayonnaise, and it's that I think that hating on mayo became like hating on Nickelback, that it just became the popular thing to do. But everyone loves Nickelback and you love mayo. Because also, if you like ranch dressing or any aioli or anything, that's straight mayo, brother. You just don't know it. But eating spoonfuls of mayo or knifefuls of mayo,
it's a condiment. It's meant to be... It's like people
I'm not just squirting ketchup in my mouth.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's bad.
And on pizza
it's a condiment. It's meant to be complimentary. That's the whole point of this.
Ketchup on pizza too. Her adding 3 strips of everything. There's already tomato sauce on a pizza.
So people are in here being like, oh man, ketchup on pizza's good. There's already sauce on it.
Yeah.
If you need ketchup to enhance the pizza, you're eating dog shit pizza.
Yep. Preach, brother. Preach.
Glad we got this out of the way. Elks are on a bye week. Riverhawks in action this weekend. You're going to a game this weekend, Aaron.
Yeah, I'm going tomorrow. We're going to also, I think some of the nation going to be there as well, in the Alley Cat Party Pen. Tonight, however, they are doing Star Wars night, and I thought that this video is just absolutely fantastic. Shout out, I think my boy Gerard made this. Look at the background.
That's it.
Shout out to that quality. So we know Riverhawks, their theme nights. I think tomorrow's country night. So come on down, Remax. The Hawks are good.
Speaking of good, baseball's back. The Toronto Blue Jays are in action. They kick off they are freaking really good. They kick off a 3-gamer against the San Francisco Giants in Toronto. So that is tonight, 5:07 first pitch. Justin Verlander versus Chris Bassett are your starters. Also, Edmonton boy Eric Sabrowski and the Guardians. They're back in action coming out of the All-Star break. Eric Sabrowski currently on a run of 5 straight appearances where he is not allowed an earned run. He's coming off an outing against the White Sox where he struck out every batter he faced. So shout out to Sabrowski. The Open from Northern Ireland is on right now. I am sweating out where this cut line is going to sit. It's still at +1. Corey Connors is 1 shot away. He needs a birdie on one of his last 3 holes, or he needs the cut line to move somewhere. So he just birdied 15. So he needs a birdie on 16, 17, or 18. He just put his shot on the par 3 to within a foot.
Where is he on the leaderboard? I'm looking.
He's tied for 71st. I also need Ben Griffin to make the cut, but he parred 18. So he needs the cut line to move 1. So yeah, not great. Need this cut line to start moving. Need it. It's been hovering from 1 to 2 all day. Need the cut line to go to +2 to win some money.
Ooh, when we end the show, we gotta get back out there.
I know, we gotta get back out there and watch where the fuck this cut line's gonna move. Dangerous Wade, listening to Nation Food Takes is like listening to Barn Burner. Yeah, he's mad at you for saying ranch is like mayo. It's not. Ranch is a little different.
It's mayo's inside. Mayo is in like every. All right, I'm coming at you, Dangerous Wade. Give me a moment. You get to Bet365. I was gonna say, can we build a Jays parlay?
Yeah, okay, we can build the Jays parlay and then wrap up the show. Shout out to our friends at Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. One more on the Open. Scotty Scheffler is -138 heading into the weekend now to win the Open. It is absolutely insane for a guy who is tied for the top spot on the leaderboard to be -138. He is tied with Matt Fitzpatrick, who is +475. That's absolutely crazy. I actually kind of like Matt Fitzpatrick. You can get him on this thing called an each way bet, which covers the top 3 spots, and he's still +450. So you put like, 25, double it up to 50, and as long as he comes top 3, you're going to get 1/5 of your money. No, maybe it's not a great play. Ignore me on that. Let's talk baseball. Blue Jays and Giants tonight. The Jays come into this one as -160 favorites. The Giants are actually having, I believe, a pretty decent year. They are 52-45. They're 3rd in the NL West. So I don't mind going money line, but I'm not getting greedy on run line. I think Vladdy's due for a big second half. I also think Bassett should be able to get a couple of Ks. So I'll say Bassett gets you 5 Ks. And then, you know what? We're coming out of the break. You just need to keep it nice and easy. Let's say both Bo and Vlad get a hit. +260. Bo and Vlad get a hit. Jays win. Bassett gets 5 Ks. +260. There's your same gamer for our friends at Bet365. Giddy up. Reese, did you have fun?
I had tons of fun. Thanks for letting me come on.
You did really good. We'll do it again. This was a good
taps in the chat for Reese. Right
everyone say good job, Reese, in the YouTube chat. I think that's it. I think that's all we have to do. What are you doing this weekend?
Me and my girlfriend are going to Cold Lake, actually.
Why?
My girlfriend and I.
Lake. Yeah,
Jesus.
Sorry. I need to go back to school. She's got a bunch of friends out there. One of them's got a cabin. So we're going out there, live it up in the sun, go on the boat.
So like you leaving right after work?
Not right after work. I still haven't even packed a bag or anything. So still got to rip home. This morning was just such chaos that...
Yeah, we really fucked up your day?
No, not at all.
So are you a fisher? You fish?
I have fished before. I would not call myself a fisher.
So our friends at Short Power Sports and Marine, shout out to them, by the way. Motorcycle season is here. Obviously, lake season is here. They got all the accessories you need for fishing. Coming up in August, we're doing a video with them. We're doing a fishing derby. I've never fished in my life. I've been on like 4 boats in my life.
You don't strike me as a boat guy.
Fishing? I don't. Anyways, I'm going to need like a crash course on how to fish. So I'm excited. Short Power Sports and Marine is going to hook us up. We're going to go out there, do a whole day of video stuff on the water out at Wapaman with them. They got all the boats lined up. They got all the fishing gear lined up. We're going to do a live on location there in about a week or so as well to really get ready for it.
Don't quote me, but I feel like your best friend Lance Kane might be able to help you with that.
Is he a fisher?
I feel like that's something, but I might be incorrect. I'll get back to you.
Okay. Okay.
He's your best friend.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think I would know. But yeah, this weekend, I'm going to golf tonight. I'm going to Zoo Brew tomorrow night. Nice. So it's drink beers at the zoo night. That sounds fun. See some animals, get a couple beers in me. Oh, Sunday, my whole family, because I have 2 young nieces and a young nephew, we're taking them to that live action Lion King thing. Or not live action, like the in-person, like the play.
Cool.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's going to be kind of cool.
Hey, I'm a big theater guy. I was a drama kid. Put some respect
I'm
on
going to go and I'm going to cheer for Mufasa. I'm going to be like, get him! Kill him! All the kids in the car are going to be like, what? All right. Mistaken Mexican, I see your question. We talked about it yesterday on Real Life. Bidding on Jay's team to throw it. It's a great idea. But anyways, we got to wrap up because we got a new episode of Oilers Nation Radio to record in a little bit. Oilers Nation Jeopardy going to drop later this evening.
Gonna try
Drop it later this evening. It's me versus Liam. It is very, very good. Some
It's
top tier
hilarious.
content.
It's hilarious.
In the meantime, enjoy your weekend, everybody. Shout out to our boy Reece for filling in. We'll be back on Monday. Oil up.